3, 2, 1. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Ash on Comics. I'm Ash. Here's today's comic. You probably saw that I did a video on Fallen Angels, and it went way long. I did not expect it to be that long. I thought about recording it over again because I was like, oh man, everyone's going to roast me for how long. I know you guys, everyone has short attention spans. They don't like watching long things or listening. I don't expect you to watch a lot of the stuff. I try to design the content so you can mostly listen to it and then describe visual. Anyways, I'm here already getting in the weeds. XMen number 2 by Jonathan Hickman and Lionel Francis Yu. I've talked before about the first issue. I do not like this artist. I do not see why people praise his work. He's neither a pretty illustrator, which meaning, you know, some artists are just really good at drawing cool pinups, like just drawing superheroes in poses, and you're like, wow, that looks really cool. Like Scott Campbell is one of those kind of guys. Then there's some artists who aren't necessarily the prettiest artists, but they understand how to do visual storytelling. And Frank Miller in his heyday was one of those. That guy was a master. I pretty much, he's like the bar for me. If you go back and look at story, like any of the Sin City books are just a master class in visual storytelling. But I digress. Lionel Francis Yu is neither pretty to look at, nor is he a visual storyteller. And I don't understand how he got a job being on X-Men. And we start off, you can see right here on this first page, look how plain Jane this is. I mean, let me just blow up for you this frame. This is X-Men, a Major League title, the pinnacle of Major League titles. And this is the art that's on there. This is terrible. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible for a Dynamite comic, but Dynamite comics actually have better art than this. So we start off the summer house. Kids, hello, Father. What's up, Dad? A lot. Yesterday, amid all the drama unfolding on Krakoa, a second island appeared 100 miles off the southern coast of our sentient mutant homeland. No one knows how or why, but this island somehow got the attention of Krakoa itself, and now Krakoa is making a beeline for it. Then, about 20 minutes ago, Aurora and Northstar returned from a flyover and reported the island appears to be full of hostiles, giant beasts from that other place that we don't normally speak of. So, I'm heading out on a recon mission, and I was wondering, you two want to help your old man beat up some monsters? Here's the opening credits page. I don't know why they need a 2-page splash for credits, but they need to be self-indulgent still. First of all, I mean, like, this dialogue, just why is Rachel and Nathan just sitting around and just looking at a giant lava lamp? Just, hello, Father. I've never heard Rachel talk to Scott that way, and nor have I heard Cable say, "What's up, Dad?" I don't feel like the voices are captured at all, nor have I ever seen Scott really act like a father. Scott has a very dysfunctional family, and he was never really had a dad in his life. He's got a very broken relationship with his father, and so it carries down. It's not that I want to see Scott be a broken man, but that's kind of the man that he is. He doesn't know how to relate to family, and this is why he's had problems with his relationship with Jean and so forth. He's kind of a stoic individual, but here he's just like good old dad. And then look at the kids' faces. I was like, oh yay, Dad's asking us to go out and play beat up monsters. And it just seemed really contrived. So the other island, mutants from around the world, blobbity blobbity. This is what this issue of X-Men stars: Cyclops, Prestige, and Cable. And God, I hate that name, Prestige. I thought Jonathan Hickman was going to fix X-Men. Can we get Rachel Summers back? The old Phoenix, and Cable. Can he be Cable again? Meanwhile, one thing this book I cannot fault is his expediency. Jonathan Hickman does not waste any time beating around the bush or getting to any story here. So they immediately are in a jet. Any idea why Krakoa is heading toward the other island? None. We should, but the only person in the universe who can talk to Krakoa is a couple of galaxies away. Someone had the bright idea of letting Doug Ramsey and company use our gateway to the Starjammer. It was you, wasn't it? This is the voice of a guilty man, Rachel. Throw the book at me. Hey, so I brought up a couple hundred rounds for my pistol, standard issue. A couple of thousand for the rifle I got from Raza, which is a lovely bit of business, along with the thermal grenades I'm packing. It sounds like it should be fine, but I'm now wondering if I should have brought anything else. Well, son, take a look for yourself. Yeah? Okay. I should have brought a bigger gun. Now, this is a cool scene here. I do like this. This is probably the best page that the artist does. Lionel Francis Yu. Always trying to remember how to say his name right. I do like this. And this dialogue would have been okay with other characters, but it just felt a little bit too like we're trying to make some witty dialogue. And that's not why House of X and Powers of X succeeded. It never had witty dialogue except in the one issue where it had the goofy, sinister island thing with all the sinister clones. And I think that was supposed to be bizarre by nature. Everything else in that book was very dramatic, very serious overtones. This feels like a stark contrast with this whole, like, let's just try to be funny and goofy like modern comics. So they're coming across the new island, and there's a volcano with some Cthulhu monster in the middle of it. Later, they're literally landing. The next page is later. Okay, I guess a few minutes later. A tricky bit of landing there, Dad. I'm impressed. I've got more hours in the cockpit than you do than I do in therapy, son. And let me tell you. Cue the laugh track. I've done the work. All right. At Krakoa's current speed, it'll be here in about 5 hours, which means we got a good bit less than that to figure out what's going on here. Rachel, if you don't mind, on it. Oh, that's interesting. Smirky look over her shoulder. It's dense, but most of what's out there is of low intelligence wildlife. Go figure. However, it's tough to tell exactly what it is because of all... sorry, I'm butchering all that. It's tough to tell exactly because it's all a little off. I'm picking up something higher on the food chain. It feels human-ish. Where? I'll give you one guess. Cthulhu Mountain. I just made that name up. Later, 2 hours from contact with Krakoa. So Krakoa is making a beeline to this island. This is taking forever. And forever we do not have. I was hoping we could do this with subtlety and nuance. But who has the patience for that anymore? Apparently not comic book readers or authors. Sorry, that was my ad lib. Stay behind me. As Scott just blasts the hole through the foliage. Much better. You've got point, Nathan. Oh yeah, send your son on point. That's a good idea. Now that we're not fighting through the foliage, it's hard to miss how beautiful this is. Yeah, reminds me a bit of Hawaii. Not the big island. One of the bigger ones. Sorry, one of the other ones. Have you ever been? Once, but world ending, fighting for my life, all that. That's no way to experience paradise, Rachel. You'll have to give it another shot. You know what? Why don't I take you? Really? Of course. But now that I'm thinking about it, I might know a better place. And it's just like... Okay, remember when I said I couldn't fault the book about expediency? This is just reminding me of Bendis all over again. Just nonsense. I don't care about... Oh, we should go to Hawaii. No, why? Oh, no, there's a better place on Chandelar, and we could go there. And blah. That all sounds amazing. Put it on your calendar, kiddo. We're going. That does not sound like Cyclops to me, and this doesn't sound like Rachel. Hey, got something. Nathan says, "It's a weird rhino thing." So there's a three-eyed rhino. I don't know. "Think it's dangerous?" says Scott. "Sure, it's a big boy, but it's definitely not a carnivore. Look at those back legs and its feet. These are not the wheels of a meat eater." Dude, it's a rhino. We know rhinos aren't meat eaters. What? Okay, I appreciate the anatomy lesson there. Still looks cool. Wait, hold up. Got more motion. And then there's a gigantic freaking worm beast that just sucks up the three-eyed rhino and eats it. And the three of them just stare. Gross. Damn. Like, not shocked, not scared, not startled, not even concerned. Just almost like they're standing in a zoo looking through a glass. Okay, now that's a meat eater. Yes, it is. "Father, should we?" "I don't think we're going to have a choice." "Fire!" So they all just start unleashing their powers just randomly on things on the island. They haven't been attacked yet. Then we get the Arak Maw. Now, if you've been paying attention, that should click to you. Remember, there were two islands. One was called Krakoa. The other one was called Arakko. Arakko. This is the Arak Maw. Could it be related to Arakko somehow? So we see this strange white being speaking in a weird language. Someone's here. "Ours is a hard land, son, but this soft place will offer trials of a different sort, ones you are not used to. War is all you have ever known, and it will not have prepared you for this. How will I know what to do? The only wisdom I can offer you is this: find him, follow him." "Mother, please." "No more of that, child. We are long past favor and sentimentality. They are coming now, across the land and over the walls. So make me proud, son. Do not fail." So this is a wicked-looking being. And then, "Under this sign, a summoner." And we get the whole thing about what summoners are in Arakko. And it's like, yep, it's Arakko. Later, man, 1 hour from contact with Krakoa. So now the Summers family is riding wild rhinos. If you ever have a chance to go to Africa, and, that would be pretty amazing to go on a safari and see some of the world and Mother Nature, and maybe see some rhinos in real life. That'd be pretty cool. Don't get close to them. Don't ride. What? They will kill you. But apparently in the comic books here, they're just, oh, look, we're just going to ride these cute rhinos. Nothing matters. "You're lucky. I'm pretty sure I still have some in my mouth." "Well, no one told you to bite it." "Couldn't help myself. Reflexes took over." "See octopus, eat octopus." The dialogue is groan-inducing in this book. And the story is so simplistic. So meanwhile, they're traveling, and they come across Paleface, I'm going to call him. And I'm surprised they don't attack him immediately, because he's got a big bullseye on his chest. And so they come up, and he says, "Oh, hello. Hi there. Can you understand me?" And they're talking, and of course, he's speaking a different language. And he's like, "What are these sounds you're making?" And it's just all like trying to be funny humor. Like, for instance, he responds, the Paleface, "All that grunting, like you're ill. Are you in pain?" "I know pain. You must fight through it. Refuse the shape it tries to make of you. Instead, shape it into armor. Into an armor that you wear. One you wear with pride." And then Nathan says, "I got an idea. I'm going to give it something. Here, friend, for you. Maybe you'll understand." And he responds, and this is all like, reminds me of like, maybe first encounters that white men had with Native Americans when they came to the New World. "Ah, a gift. Thank you." Still, he's translated, they don't understand each other. You can see the brackets, says it's in a foreign language. "See? Success," says Nathan. "I'm a good person. I do good things, and that's why people love me. You should remember that, Rachel. Scott replies, what did you give him? Something awesome. A thermal grenade. My last one. I'm a giver. Oh no, says Scott. And then the pale face, ooh, so shiny, pushes a button. Click. Ba-boom! Now, I know this is tried to being played off for humor, but again, it's cringe-inducing. The very fact that Nathan just is like talking the way he is, like a freaking moron, and then he's giving someone a thermal grenade. What? Yeah. Come on, even a prepubescent, like even a little kid would know better than not to just, I'm going to give you a grenade. Is like, what? It's so stupid and thoughtless. And it's just, again, it's played for humor. But boom, he blows himself up. Ha ha, it's a little funny. And then, we see them recoiling from the blast and they're catching themselves. Nathan starts up again. I honestly don't know what else I was thinking could have happened there. Well, you probably were hoping for the best. After all, you're a good person. You do good things, and that's why people love you. Kids, let's stop arguing. How old are these kids? Like, are they 13? Like, that's kind of the banter I'm feeling is trying to be achieved here. And then Scott keeps continuing. It's time to do the other thing. Paleface responds in his foreign language. You have erred greatly. Can't you see what I am? I am a summoner. Which, if you read the white pages before, you know what they are. They summon demons. And the level 3 summoner, which you can tell by the number of dashes on the little bullseye thing, that means he's a prime. He's a tough summoner. What does the white page say here? Summoner, minor, summoner, adept, high summoner. He's a high summoner. And he can summon 3 major demons, to which he's doing here. And he talks about, see Urgaloth, the great beast of the outer realm. See Huguldir, the vanquished god. See Dur, the undying. Now this should come off as like spectacular and impressive and maybe a bit terrifying, but it just comes off kind of silly Billy. See them and see your end, for I am son of Araco, a defender of the keep. One does not attack me and live. And here we get just generic fight pose. This is one of the things I point out about modern comics, where modern authors don't know how to actually write fight scenes anymore. It used to be a comic book was probably a good 50% of the comic was action scenes and fighting and doing different things. And the rest of the book was kind of exposition and dialogue for story purposes to move along. But comics are always a big action medium. These days, it's not. It's a bunch of sitting around, sitcom humor, bantering back and forth over cups of coffee or tea. And then when they do get to the action, it's just like a big splash page of just, like, I could almost see the notes of the writer just telling the artist, draw a big action scene. Oh, okay. So here we just see everyone unleashing. Apparently, Rachel just thinking really hard and grimacing. We could really use right now, Cable? So this is Nathan speaking to himself. What we could really use right now, Cable? I do, Cable. A thermal grenade. Well, yes, Cable. But if you hadn't already used it, you actually wouldn't need it, would you? Hey, shut up already. I'm a time traveler. Nothing makes sense. And that sums up this book completely. Nothing makes sense. The story is rather straightforward, but it's so contrived. It's literally just, I need to get Araco into the storyline. I thought Araco, when we countered the lore in House of X, Powers of X, I thought we were going to get, that was going to be a really strong world building moment. We might get, a good 6, maybe 12 issues out of story about this lost island and the original horsemen of the apocalypse and all this stuff. There was so much there. And instead, in X-Men issue number 2, it's just this little shoehorn story. And Hickman just kind of gets, look, Scott and his kids, they go to this island. It's just randomly here. And get in a fight, because they misunderstood the paleface guy. And Scott gets this bright idea about, the Krakoan language. So they can't communicate because Doug is gone, because that's a genius. The only person they have to communicate, they send it. And that's Hickman almost pointing out his own fallacy, the own stupidity. There would be no way that Cypher would be off running around with the New Mutants. It just doesn't make any sense. He's critical to be on Krakoa. But anyways, he gets this bright idea that everyone's learns the Krakoan language, and that Rachel was part of imprinting in people's minds. And I don't know why they didn't think about this sooner. And she even mentions that, and they start speaking to this guy in Krakoan, to which he understands. He says, "Can you understand us now?" "Yes, I can. Tell me, why did you try to destroy me?" As Cable's tied up by some Cthulhu beast. "I didn't. It was a gift. You weren't supposed to turn it on." "I don't understand. Does gift mean something else in this world?" Cable, sigh. "Can we agree that I've made some poor choices today and just move on?" So it gets dropped. Cyclops says, "Look, we don't want to fight you, blobbity blobbity. We just want to know why the island, Krakoa, is moving towards this island." And to which Paleface responds, and this should be blatantly obvious. At this point, I automatically knew what was going on. He says, "Do you love someone?" Complicated question, but for the sake of expediency, let's just say yes. I love a single someone. Is that yourself, Scott? Because I don't know. And you want to be with them, yes? Of course. So the answer, of course, is Krakoa and Arakko are lovers. And they've been apart, and Arakko's back. Krakoa wants to be with Arakko, and so they're joining in union, and they have island sex. And the Summers family looks on. "Oh, man. Are the islands? Are they?" Scott replies, "I honestly don't want to know." And then Nathan's putting his palm over his face, peeking through his fingers. "What was that?" "Well, son, I think that's how all my best mistakes have happened." Again, the more the sick cue laugh track. Ha 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 ha. "Now the two are one," says Paleface. "As they should be, as they always were." And then we see the new map, white pages tells us. And then later, God, they love to loot later. Paleface meets with Apocalypse, says that he was supposed to meet. Apocalypse asks whose kid he is. It turns out, well, I'll just let you read. That's the end of the book. There's a little bit left to find out who Paleface is, so I can save you a little bit of spoilers. There's no point in me spoiling it. I wanted to talk about what this book is. And this book, look, it wasn't horrible. Okay, it wasn't a joke like a Bendis book, but man, it was kind of dipping its toes in that territory. And yes, the one thing I can give credit for about this book is it had purpose. It does bring Arakko into the lore. It does world build. That's kind of the purpose of X-Men going forward, from what I understand from Hickman's speech, is that it's going to be used to kind of fill the lore. Okay, so be it. I don't think that's a great use for X-Men. I think they should have just continued to have a House of X, a book for that. I don't know. I wanted to see an X-Men book where the X-Men have adventures and they go off and save people, but I guess we're not going to have that. We're going to have them just explore islands and ride rhinos and make stupid jokes. Again, this was a mildly entertaining book. I poke fun of it and I mock it and ridicule it, actually, for some of the things that it's doing, rightly so. Again, it's not nearly at the level of like a Bendis book, because this does actually have a plot and it does actually have world building. It's not setting out to ruin characters. I just think that Hickman doesn't actually have a voice for some of these characters, and is just trying to make one, and it's not working. Not for me, at least. Some people seem to have really liked X-Men #2 from what I'm picking up out there. But for me, it's just a really average book with not so good art. And because of that, because of what this book should be, I'm disappointed. Here you can see the the remaining books we got to keep reading and paying tons of money for. This is a lot of money for middling entertainment. Fallen Angels is still the best so far. And, why is Cable even running around here if he's with the Fallen Angels? And why does he act differently in Fallen Angels than he does here? Hopefully, maybe Hickman can get on Brian Hill's bus and see like how the character should be written. Or maybe these characters can't they just die? Do we need every single X-Men ever frickin' created to be in the stories? I don't know. I'm going to get in the weeds and keep going too long. I wanted to keep this shorter, and I always fail. I'm sorry. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I am going to continue. I am going to buy X-Men 3 because I am giving this an honest shot. But I'm also going to be honest with you. If you're tuning in, you want honest reactions, honest opinions. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. I'm not going to try to tell you how great this book is just because it's Hickman and just because it's X-Men and because I refuse, to see it for less, or I refuse to, I don't want to see it as something, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm getting lost in myself. You know what I'm saying? Where you want it to be better than it is and you don't want to talk bad about something that you've kind of aligned yourself with. I love X-Men and I want it to be great, but it's not going to be great just because of that. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it pulls up and we start seeing some better stories. I can't wait for Lionel Francis Hu to be off this book. I cannot stand his art. Leave your comments below. Tell me what your opinions of the book are. If you like it, that's fine. Like I know several people, other YouTubers I respect that like the book. It just this didn't rub me the right way. And I hope I was satisfactorily able to explain it. All right, I got to end this. I'm just never going to die. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.